I remember the days when loving you felt effortless, like breathing. I gave you my whole heart without measuring how much it would cost me. I believed love was about giving, about trusting completely, about choosing someone every single day without fear. With you, I never held back. I shared my dreams, my weaknesses, my quiet fears, and my loud hopes. I thought that kind of honesty was safe in your hands. Our relationship wasn't perfect, but it felt real. We laughed at small things, shared silence without discomfort, and planned futures that felt close enough to touch. I trusted you not because you promised me forever, but because your presence made me feel secure. You looked at me like I mattered, like I was chosen. That look became my home. I ignored the early signs because love made me generous with excuses. When your attention shifted, I told myself you were tired. When your words became shorter, I assumed life was heavy. I didn't question the distance growing between us because I believed in patience. I believed love meant understanding, even when it hurt a little. I gave more when I felt you pulling away. More care. More forgiveness. More silence about the things that bothered me. I thought if I loved harder, you would stay. I didn't realize I was slowly teaching myself to accept less than I deserved. You still held my hand. You still said my name. You still existed in my life. That made me believe nothing was wrong. I didn't know that betrayal doesn't always arrive loudly. Sometimes it enters quietly, disguised as normal days and familiar routines. I trusted you with my heart because I thought you were protecting it too. I didn't know that while I was building a future in my mind, you were already stepping away from it. I was loving you honestly, while you were learning how to live without me. What hurts the most isn't that I loved you. It's that I loved you without fear, while you were already choosing distance over truth. I didn't know that the memories I was creating with you would one day hurt more than losing you entirely. The change didn't happen overnight. It arrived slowly, like a shadow growing longer at the end of the day. You were still there, but you weren't really with me anymore. Conversations felt incomplete. Your laughter didn't reach your eyes. I started feeling alone even when you were right beside me. I questioned myself before I ever questioned you. I wondered if I was too sensitive, too demanding, too much. I adjusted my expectations to fit your distance. I convinced myself that love sometimes goes quiet, that this phase would pass if I stayed patient. But patience turned into pain. I waited for warmth that never returned. I waited for honesty that never came. I waited while my heart grew heavier with questions I was too afraid to ask. You guarded your phone. You disappeared emotionally. You became defensive over small things. Still, I didn't want the truth. Deep down, I sensed it, but I wasn't ready to face it. Knowing would mean everything I believed in was breaking. The day I realized you had given your attention, your care, and your emotional presence to someone else, the world didn't shatter loudly. It went silent. My chest felt empty, like something vital had been taken from me without permission. It wasn't just the betrayal. It was the lies wrapped around it. The way you looked at me and pretended nothing was wrong. The way you let me doubt myself while you already knew the truth. That hurt more than the act itself. I replayed memories in my mind, searching for the moment everything changed. I wondered which smile was real and which was already shared with someone else. I questioned every memory we had built together. The hardest part wasn't losing you. It was realizing I was holding on to someone who had already emotionally left. I wasn't grieving a breakup. I was grieving the version of us that only existed in my heart. Love shouldn't make you feel invisible. But I stayed, hoping you would choose me again, even after you had already chosen someone else. When you finally left, I thought the pain would lessen. I believed distance would bring relief. Instead, the memories became louder. Every place reminded me of you. Every quiet moment echoed with what we used to be. I didn't miss you the way I expected. I missed the version of you I loved before the betrayal. I missed the safety I felt when I trusted you completely. Losing you wasn't the hardest part. Living with the memories was. Memories don't ask permission before they return. They appear in random moments, turning ordinary days into emotional battles. A song. A phrase. A familiar time of day. Suddenly, I was back in moments that once felt warm but now only hurt. I questioned my worth. I wondered why I wasn't enough for you to stay honest. Betrayal has a way of making you doubt yourself, even when you did nothing wrong. I carried guilt that never belonged to me. Some days I felt strong. Other days I felt broken all over again. Healing wasn't a straight line. It was a cycle of acceptance and pain, hope and disappointment. I learned that letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means learning how to live with the truth. I stopped blaming myself slowly. I realized love given sincerely is never a mistake. The mistake was staying silent when my heart was asking for clarity. The mistake was believing love alone could fix dishonesty. You left, but the impact of your choices stayed. Not because I wanted you back, but because healing takes time. I had to relearn how to trust my instincts, how to listen to my emotions, and how to protect my heart. The memories hurt, but they also taught me something important. They showed me how deeply I can love, and how strong I must become to survive losing someone who mattered. One day, I realized I was tired of carrying pain that wasn't mine to hold. I couldn't change what you did, but I could change what I allowed to define me. Healing began when I chose myself over the memories. I stopped waiting for closure from you and started creating it within myself. I accepted that some people leave without explanations, and some betrayals never make sense. Understanding isn't always necessary for peace. I learned that love should never require you to shrink. It should never make you doubt your worth or silence your feelings. Real love feels safe, honest, and mutual. Anything less is not love, no matter how familiar it feels. I forgave you, not because you deserved it, but because I deserved freedom. Holding on to anger kept me tied to the past. Letting go allowed me to move forward. The memories still exist, but they no longer control me. They are reminders, not wounds. They taught me boundaries, self-respect, and the importance of emotional honesty. I gave you my whole heart, and I don't regret that. What I regret is not giving myself the same loyalty sooner. Losing you taught me that I deserve a love that chooses me fully, without secrets or hesitation. I am no longer defined by what you took from me. I am defined by what I rebuilt after you left. And that strength is something no betrayal can take away.